Hey, everybody, good evening. My name is Harold. I am here to talk to you guys today about HIV prevention. And so, the title of this webinar that we're doing, or that I'm doing, is called Study Prep for HIV/AIDS Prevention. And so, we will go through a couple things this evening. I initially thought to start this webinar off with a video, but I kind of wanted to dive right into it, let you guys get a feel for what it is that I'm doing my capstone over. And so my capstone is over attacking um, HIV and AIDS through education and prevention. So this evening, we will go through a few videos, a few slides, and a couple how-tos to protect yourself and your partner from contracting HIV and AIDS. And we'll talk about how to get you guys enrolled into clinical studies, um, how to get you guys on PrEP, things that you can do to keep yourself safe now and in the future. And so without further ado, we will go ahead, we will jump right in. So I'm going to bring up the presentation that I've been working on for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy what it is that I have to teach you guys this evening. So, as I stated before, the title of this is called Study Prep for HIV/AIDS Prevention. This is going to be one of a few webinars that I actually do for Washington University and for my capstone as well. So the image that you're looking at actually came from the CDC, and it was one of the best images that I had seen thus far that was very straightforward and targeted. I love the fact that, it asks so many questions that we don't get to address every day about HIV and AIDS and PrEP and what we do to protect ourselves. So the goal for this presentation is to educate you guys about HPTN 083 cabotegravir study, about HIV/AIDS, to teach you guys how to protect yourself, how we can get out into the community and kind of end this epidemic. So our overall goal for this is to stop AIDS. AIDS is the third step, after contracting HIV, and we will get into that later on into the webinar. And so we will start this webinar off with talking about HIV and AIDS statistics, which has grown over the years. We've seen an increase in several demographics, but a decrease in others. So we'll get into it. So what is HIV? What you're looking at on the screen right now is a picture of a CD4 cell. This is the cell that the HIV virus actually attacks. So you're looking at the receptors on the end that it attaches itself to and replicates inside. So we'll get into how HIV can be transmitted, how it's not transmitted, how you protect yourself. So HIV is transmitted by sexual contact, sharing needles to inject drugs, or through pregnancy. It's typically done through birth or can be spread through breastfeeding as well. Now, HIV, there was a stigma for a really long time that HIV, could be transferred through the touching of a toilet seat, and it was something very taboo to talk about when it first came out. And this is also here to help dispel those myths. So HIV is not transmitted through air or water, and it cannot be transmitted through saliva, sweat, tears, or closed mouth kissing. It is not transmitted through insects or pets, or sharing toilets or foods or drinks. The CDC proved that it would take 25 gallons of saliva that's kissing in order for a person to contract HIV from kissing. So without further ado, we will go ahead and jump into the first video. Now, this video is the science of HIV/AIDS. And what we talk about here is how it all started, where it all began, how we this is a really good video. So this video was presented by ASAP Science and did an awesome job of talking about how it replicates itself, what happens to the body after the virus has started replicating itself, how you can treat yourself afterwards. So we will only go into about the first minute or so of this video to talk about how HIV is really transmitted, how it affects the body.
HIV/AIDS has taken the lives of over 39 million people worldwide, despite our efforts to prevent, treat, and better understand it. But with 35 million people currently infected, what exactly is it, and are we close to a cure? To contract HIV, the virus must enter the bloodstream, and it's often transmitted from infected bodily fluids like blood, semen, vaginal fluids, or breast milk. Once inside the bloodstream, HIV targets a variety of cells, but most specifically the T helper cells, which are a type of white blood cell that play an essential role in our immune system and fighting infections. The outer envelope of HIV is covered in glycoproteins, which mutate frequently, ultimately tricking the T cell receptors to not recognize the virus. Once attached to specific proteins on the T cell, it begins to fuse the membranes together and eventually enters the cell, where it releases 2 viral RNA strands and 3 essential replication enzymes. Because HIV is a retrovirus, the RNA is transcribed into DNA, represented here by a zipper of 2 RNA strands transcribing into DNA. This DNA is then integrated into the host cell's genome. This makes the T cells treat the viral genes like their own, which causes them to make more copies of the virus. These then leave the host cell and mature, ultimately seeking more T cells. The virus is particularly difficult to treat because its mutation rate is so high. Overall, the replication process creates more than 10 billion new virions each day. During these
So as you guys can see, HIV is a very, very strong virus. It attacks our body to replicate itself. It's one of those viruses that thrives from our body. I'll get this presentation pulled back up for you guys so you guys can see the next slide, which is actually an image of the life cycle of HIV, which is an awesome slide. So this slide was presented by iBase, and you guys will have the link to download this. This slide really shows the stages, the life cycle of an HIV cell. And so as we see, as the video discussed, this is what we're looking at is a CD4 cell. And the CD4 cells is what the HIV cells attaches itself to replicate. It replicate itself. And the reason why we're having such a hard time finding a cure for HIV is because there are so many strands. Each strand is unique to its person. And so it's easier to treat HIV than it is to find a cure, because we will be looking for, as you can see, 39 million cures for this one disease. But back to this slide. This slide shows us how the HIV cell replicates. So at first it attaches itself to the CD4 receptor. And after it does that, it tricks itself into getting into the cell as an RNA. And during that time, as it integrates into the human DNA, it replicates millions of virions throughout the day. I mean, the first stage of this is like flu-like symptoms, and so we'll get into the next. And so what we're looking at is 3 stages of HIV. We're talking stage 1, which is the acute HIV infection, 2, clinical latency, and then 3, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, also known as AIDS. And so the end goal is essentially to stop all of this. It's not just stop AIDS, but it's to stop all of this. We want to ensure that everybody in the world is healthy. So the first stage is the acute HIV infection. And so the first stage starts within about 2 to 4 weeks of infection. And while the person is feeling flu-like symptoms, they may also find themselves with swollen lymph nodes or fatigue or weight loss and night sweats. Often this is when the viruses starts settling in. And then the next stage is clinical latency, also known as asymptomatic HIV infection or the chronic HIV infection. At this time, the virus is active in the body. It reproduces at extremely low levels. And for people who are not actively treating their infection, this stage can last a decade or more, and may progress a little bit faster than those. And if it progresses a lot faster, what we're looking at is the third stage, which is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS. And this is the final stage. This is the most severe stage of the HIV infection. And this is when the CD4 count drops below 200 cells per millimeter. So we're talking pretty much non-existent. We're talking that your body is now having a trouble fighting any infection that it comes into contact with throughout your life from here on out. So next, we'll talk about who's infected. There is no one person that is not affected by HIV. We're talking no demographic. I mean, it affects whites, it affects blacks, it has no age, it affects everybody. As we stated, it can be transmitted through the birth canal. So babies are born with HIV. We're talking men who have sex with men, men who have sex with women, women who have sex with women. Although they are at a lower risk, it is still the opportunity for them to catch it. And so what you're looking at right now, I'll go back to the last one. It's just a group of people who are now fighting this good fight with myself, who are at my side pretty much every day. The far left, we're looking at Carlton and DeAndre and myself in this picture. And to the right, we're looking at Cameron in the next picture. And then this slide here is to actually one drag queen, the far left, and then the one on the right is a transgender woman. And this campaign is targeted towards LGBT men and transgender women. So we're talking men who have sex with men, whether gay or bi, and transgender women. Transgender women are women who were born a male and then throughout their life has trans into a woman. And so what we're looking at next is just a few stats that were brought to our attention by the CDC in 2015, 2016 for 2015. And as you can see, in the number one target group was the Black MSM, male to male sexual contact, at over 10,000 cases in 2015. That's a huge number. And there's several barriers as to why these numbers are so high, and that we will get into in a later webinar. We will talk about debunking those barriers, how we can help our family and our friends, and how we educate them to decrease these numbers. The next group we're looking at is white men who have sex with men, with over 7,500 cases, and then Hispanic Latino men who have sex with men at a little over 7,000 cases, and then Black women are in the top 5 at over 4,000. Hetero Black men at almost 2,000. Hispanic or Latino women at a little over 1,000, and white women who've not reached the 1,000 mark yet, which is awesome. We are trying to decrease as many cases as possible. And how I plan on doing that is through education. It's through talking to you guys, through webinars, allowing you guys to ask me questions. And by the way, you guys can ask me questions during this as well. There is a chat to the right. So anybody who is joining, feel free to ask me questions. I will definitely answer them to the best of my ability. If I'm unable to, I could definitely provide you with links to answer those questions, or get you in contact with someone who will be a little bit better suited to answer those questions for you. So we'll go through a quick pop quiz just to see what you guys have retained since we started this webinar. So the first question is, how is HIV transmitted? So is it A, sexual contact, B, sharing needles or injectable drugs, C, birth, D, all of the above, or E, none of the above. And I will give you guys a few moments to answer this question. All right, so let's jump into the next one. So I hope you guys got the correct answer. The correct answer is D. I'm sorry, that's actually incorrect. It's actually all of the above. I'm sorry. Mixed my slides up. Which human cell does HIV attack? Is it A, red blood cells, B, white blood cells, C, CD4 cells, D, none of the above, or E, all of the above? The correct answer is C. It is the CD4 cell that the HIV virus attacks. It is what is used to replicate itself throughout our body. So next, let's talk PrEP. What is PrEP? PrEP is short. It's actually an acronym for pre-exposure prophylaxis, which is a daily medicine that is taken by mouth, currently called Truvada, to help reduce your chances of contracting HIV. It takes a hold of the cell, wraps it in what we would consider like a coating to protect you. Daily PrEP reduces the risk of getting HIV by sex more than 90%. Currently, we're looking at 92%, and that's if like you miss a day. If you're taking it every day, you're looking at 96 to 98% effective. So your risk of getting HIV from sex can be even lower if you combine PrEP with other safe sex practices like using condoms, or even if you're abstaining from sex, having one sex partner. Those type of things lower your chances of contracting HIV. What you're looking at now is the hashtag PrEP works. So this is the hashtag that we've been using everywhere when we go and do HIV prevention campaigns and when we promote PrEP, because PrEP works. There are even the hashtags Black Guys PrEP, the hashtag Do You Have Your Blue Pill, hashtag My Blue Pill Works, hashtag Get Your Blue Pill, hashtag Give PrEP a Shot. There's so many hashtags that we are using right now to promote this. So if you see any one of those, if you Google any one of those, we encourage you to join the campaign, get in it, educate everybody, spread the word. I will even provide you guys with these slides so that you guys can utilize them for your campaigns as well. So next we'll go into a video about what is PrEP. We're not going to really, the video isn't going to show you what is PrEP. It's going to talk to you more about how PrEP works. And I feel like this is a really good video. It was a video that was actually shared with me through my DIUP program. And for those of you who do not know what DIUP is a program that is geared towards educating people about safe sex practices. It is open to everyone, men, women, Black, white, Latino, transgender. We do our best to educate everybody about these events and that we have. And so we will jump right into this what is PrEP video. So this will give you guys an idea of how this works in your body.
Let's take a look at how PrEP helps prevent HIV infection in your body. Your body is protected by special cells in your immune system called CD4 T cells. These cells normally help keep you healthy when you're exposed to a germ or virus. But when HIV enters your body, it hunts down these T cells, attacks them, and uses them to make copies of itself at a very high rate, as many as several billion copies per day. These new copies of the virus go out into the body and hunt for even more T cells to take over, using them to make even more copies. The immune system just can't keep up with the virus to stop it from making all those copies. And that results in HIV infection. Now, let's rewind and see what would happen inside your body if you were exposed to HIV while taking PrEP. Imagine that you start taking PrEP once a day. Your body digests the pills, and the medication starts building up protection for your T cells. After taking a pill each day for about a week, your T cells are getting maximum protection. Then you are exposed to HIV. As before, HIV tries to attack your T cells, but this time, because you've been taking PrEP, it doesn't succeed. It tries to get into the cells to make copies of itself, but it can't because the cells are protected. The result? No HIV infection. How should you take PrEP?
So I think this video does a really good job of just a basic explanation as to why we should, why you should take PrEP. It's very simple. It's one pill a day. It is a blue pill called Truvada. And you can find out how to get it from from your primary care physician. You can go to giveprepashot.org. You can go onto the CDC's website to figure out more about it. If you guys need those links, you will find them at the bottom of this video and at the end of my slides, along with downloadable content that you can share with your family and your friends and your community about it as well. So we will pick right up where we left off. So next we're going to talk about HPTN 083 cabotegravir. HPTN is an acronym. It is short for the HIV Prevention Trials Network. HIV Prevention Trials Network is a global organization with 3 headquarters here in the United States that whole purpose is to stop AIDS and stop HIV. Currently, the HPTN 083 cabotegravir study is open to 4,500 MSM worldwide, 4 different continents. We're talking North America, South America, Africa, and Asia. 4 continents, 4,500 men worldwide. It is a 6-year-long study that tests cabotegravir as a long-acting injectable form of PrEP. This is their logo. They are working with schools in South Africa. Typically, their partnering sites or are colleges and universities. The one here in St. Louis that I'm working with is with Washington University. And our initiator for this was Dawn Marker. She's no longer with us. Now it's Amber, AJ, as we call her, and John. They're the 2 community activists for this program. They've done an outstanding job with getting people enrolled in the program and making sure that they are taken care of. I've done interviews with some of the individuals who have partaken in the program, and they've expressed how wonderful of a job they are. The program offers counselors throughout the entire time that are available 24 hours a day. If you have any questions, any side effects, or anything that you need assistance with, they are there to help you. So the HPTN 083 cabotegravir study aims to use cabotegravir, which can be traced in the body a year later, as a long-standing injectable form of PrEP. You would go in essentially 4 times a year, every 3 months, as you would currently do with PrEP. While taking a PrEP pill, you go to a scheduled appointment every 3 months to have blood work done, to be retested and things like that, so, to make sure that you're still eligible for it. The HPTN study right now is only open to men. There is another study, HPTN 082, that is open to women. as well. And then HPTN084 is the next step in this study. And so what you're looking at right now is the study visit schema for the HPTN083. It's a double-blind study. So the only person who knows who's getting what is the pharmacist, which is awesome. And so they are testing cabotegravir against Truvada. And as you can see, the top layer, as I said, it's a six-year program. We ask that everybody that's enrolled is enrolled at least 3 years at minimum. So what you're looking at is Arm A, where the individuals are receiving a Truvada placebo, and then they're receiving the cabotegravir as a injectable. And then the bottom Arm 2, you're looking at the individuals who are receiving Truvada and are receiving a placebo shot for their time being. This study is completely free. There's no charges incurred. So for individuals who don't have or are having issues getting medical insurance or anything like that, this is a great way. Our study here in St. Louis is enrolling up to 100 participants. We right now are currently in the lead of enrolling associates. We're at 65 of our 100. We opened our doors to this study before any of the other sites, and we've progressed a lot further in the short amount of time that we've had this study as well. And so now we'll jump into what is PrEP. So this is another quick quiz that I have for you guys, just so you guys see if you guys have been paying attention the entire time we've been going over this. I know this is a long but very serious topic, because this is something that affects all of us every day. So what is PrEP? It is a pill taken once a day to prevent HIV. It's a drink, casual drink with your friends, headache medicine, or none of the above. And so the correct answer is, hope you guys all got it right, is A. It's a pill taken once a day to prevent HIV. So our goal with the HPTN083 is to make it a little bit easier for people. Instead of having to take the pill once a day, they can go in every 3 months and get a shot instead. So they'll have an option, whereas right now it's pretty much just using condoms or, abstaining or taking a pill every day. So in order to be enrolled in the study, there's a couple links that you guys can definitely visit. The HPTN.org link, Give PrEP a Shot, or you guys can visit our WashU site in order to become enrolled, or you can contact our Center for Infectious Disease directly at idcru@wustl.edu, or you can give us a call at 314-454-0058 to enroll here at Washington University. And for those who are watching that are not in the St. Louis area, if you are in Missouri, because we're one of the only schools that are participating in the Midwest, you guys are more than welcome to come travel to us. So we do reimburse your travel expenses to come be a part of this study as well. And if you need assistance with finding a location that you want to partake in, let us know, and we can definitely assist you with finding the nearest location to you as well. So our call to action to stop AIDS, we're doing this through education, through PrEP, and through being community activists. We are getting our voice out to make sure that we can continue to protect our family, our friends, our loved ones, because like I said, this doesn't affect just me. This doesn't affect just you. This affects everybody. Little do we know, we all know someone who has or has come in contact with someone who has HIV or AIDS. It doesn't mean we should look at them any differently. But our goal is to become educated about this and stop it from the beginning. So I would like to thank you guys. These are a list of references that you guys can check out. A link to the YouTube video, to all of the pictures, some of the information that we've gone through today as well. This is downloadable content. So the slide that I told you guys that had the HIV life cycle in it, the top art and pictures has an entire 26 page book that's dedicated to explaining art, which is a retrotherapy antiviral retrotherapy through HIV, and then an HIV 101 fact sheet provided by the CDC, the PrEP 101 fact sheet provided by the CDC, and a link to the HPTN 083 study info as well. So you guys do have all of that information as well. And like I said, feel free to reach out to me because I have no problem getting you guys all of the information that you need and taking care of yourself. And so one of the ways that we educate you guys through this call to action is by getting you guys out to your community and making sure that you guys at least know your status. And how you do that is getting tested frequently. And we're talking every 3 to 6 months. As we stated before, HIV is one of those things that in the first stage is flu-like symptoms for the first 2 to 4 weeks. So the sooner you know, the better. And as the video stated, there's several million individuals who don't even know that they've contracted the virus. So get yourself tested, get out, get your partners tested, get your friends tested, encourage your community to be tested. And if you don't know where to get tested, you guys can call the CDC. I will provide you with all of this information. You can call the CDC at 1-800-CDC-INFO. That is 1-800-CDC-INFO or 1-800-232-4636. You can visit gettested.cdc.gov, or, and I love this one the most, you guys can text your zip code to know it. That's KNOWIT. Text your zip code to know it, and it'll tell you all of the testing sites that are within your location. And also, HIV testing is free if you have medical insurance as covered through the Affordable Care Act as well. And if you don't want to go, if you feel a little bit more comfortable just going to a free testing agency, by all means, you guys can go to the CDC or county health departments. They offer free testing as well. And it's recommended that everybody ages 13 to 64 get out and get tested. Get your friends tested, as I said, make it known. You guys can visit giveprepashot.org as well to figure out more ways to protect yourself. And so again, my name is Harold. I hope you guys enjoyed the webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Again, I will provide you guys with all of my contact information as well. I hope this was educational to you guys as well, and you guys enjoyed learning as much as I enjoyed giving you guys the knowledge to protect yourselves for future instances. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you guys at our next webinar. Have a good one.